Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta and the Confused Wanderer. Sorry, I am on my phone too because, as many of you guys know, we are now simulcasting not only through YouTube but through the Rumble as well. So, FYI to anybody watching, I think we have actually way more people from Rumble watching than YouTube because I live on Shadow Band Lane on YouTube. Sometimes I cannot see your comments. So I'm trying to keep up with it on my phone as well. But if you feel like I ignored a comment and you're on Rumble, it's probably because I didn't see it. So just FYI. But I'm so happy to be doing this again. We're getting back into our one of my favorite topics, which is talking shit about Laura Knight.
Yeah. Oh, and quick note for subscribers of the Confused Wanderer on YouTube, I just opened up my own Rumble account now, and so you could find me under the Confused Wanderer. So we're going to start simulcasting when we do lives with Lou. We're going to start putting those also on Rumble, and I guess you could consider that my backup account. So it'd be great if you could, if you're subscribed to Confused Wanderer on YouTube, if you could go over and subscribe to me on Rumble if you have an account, or you could create an account on Rumble if you don't and subscribe to the Confused Wanderer there.
Yeah, it's just we get put obviously we're not controlled opposition because we get silenced a lot. And so anyway, you guys, I just want to point something out as well, just because we have a lot of trolls on the YouTube. The mask behind Todd is a Hindu mask. For the people who are new, hey Angie, for the people
Hey,
who are new to our channels, I've picked up a lot of more subscribers. The mask behind Todd. Todd and I both have spent a lot of time in India. That's kind of our job outside of YouTube, and that mask is something we got from India. And in India, they put that mask on their houses, outside of their houses, in order to scare away demons. Also, I have an Evil Eye shirt on. I've been getting a lot of comments about me wearing Evil Eye jewelry, Evil Eye shirts, and a lot of very culturally ignorant people out there. And so let me explain to you a little bit about the evil eye. The evil eye is not the all-seeing eye. That's a totally different thing. The evil eye is used, again, to ward off negativity. And I've been wearing evil eyes since I was in my 20s, my early 20s, and I'm in my early 40s right now. And in fact, I had a lot of Christians tell me that I was going to go to hell for wearing an evil eye, but I want to educate the Christians out there that there's a huge Christian community in Turkey, where the evil eye is from, who wear evil eyes. So maybe just exactly, Angie. Yeah, it's not. And even with that being said, we can kind of talk about this a little bit, Todd, as well, because it kind of goes in with the topic we're talking about today.
oh,
When we look at things like the law of one, and this is something I really want like the truthers to hear when I say this. We talk about this all the time on my channel. The darkness cannot create anything. Darkness cannot create at all. The only thing that creates is the light. And so, with that being said, everything in the world that you perceive as being a symbol of evil was actually created by the light and inverted by the darkness. So we have to be really careful about what judgment we're casting on people. And we have to always move with mercy and grace, and understand that culture is very different from religion. And there's a lot of cultural things, as Angie had just said, like, yeah, there Istanbul, there is Turkey, that area is where this culture is from, of warding away evil. And so you need to be careful about, I don't understand. That's the one thing about the Christian faith that I really don't understand, is where a lot of Christians get this idea that they somehow hold the power to tell somebody they're going to hell or not.
I mean,
That's
the same religion that drinks blood.
Yeah, that's not your that's between God and the person. That's nothing to do with you. You're not the. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. So yes, I wear evil eyes. I've worn evil eyes since I was in my early 20s. I'm very weird when I'm very woo-woo. So is Todd. We believe in spiritual energy. We believe in the unseen. And so we do things to protect ourselves. And so I just wanted to put that out there for the people in the back who are ignorant and are out there casting judgment on people. I saw something great today. I think it's today I saw it, where it said, everybody's going to hell according to somebody else's religion.
Right.
Like everyone, so judge not least you be judged. So anyway, with that being said, for those who don't know, this is my partner, Todd. He's literally in the other room. In fact, you might hear our dog come in between us right now. But since I do have a lot more subscribers to my channel because of the Bloodline series that I'm doing, Todd.
Yeah.
Let's first, before we get into this, can we just do like a quick, like 5-minute, 2-minute
review of who Laura Knight Yaddick is and the Cassiopaeans?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see if I can sum this up for those people that might be unfamiliar with Laura Knight Yaddick's work. It goes all the way back to the 90s when there was this gentleman named Frederick Ireland that was a channeler, channeling the Cassiopaeans, this group that called themselves the Cassiopaeans. And I've never spoken to Frederick Ireland, and as far as I understand, he was actually channeling. But with that being said, he was channeling. Stop me if I'm getting off track, Bryce. But
I just want to say, if you read the transcripts, he's listed as Frank in the transcripts, but his real name is Frederick Ireland.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, Frederick Ireland was a channeler. Laura partnered up with him and was helping him transcribe the channelings that they were doing, and they called it the Cassiopaean experiment. They labeled it that. And so Frederick Ireland and Laura were together channeling along with some of their friends for many years. And then eventually Frederick Ireland, as far as I understand, got tired of Laura, sort of kicked her to the curb, and was going to put this information. It started putting this information out online with the information they were got through their channeling, put it out online. But Laura ended up turning around, suing Frederick Ireland for the rights to all the transcripts. And then she went off on her own, trashed Frederick Ireland, altered the transcripts, and used that material plus the new material that she was creating on her own by fake channeling, and basically formed a cult following. And it got fairly big back in the early 2000s. She had sort of taken over or started to really infiltrate the conspiracy theory world. And it started to grow. And anyway, I mean, I don't know how else, but she's put out many books. She claims to be
self-published
books. She claims to be, she's a prolific writer. Her writing is shit.
Yeah.
But she still put out a lot of books. And so backing up a little bit. So when Frederick Ireland was involved, he was actually legitimately channeling. And you can tell. But then once Laura took over, she cannot channel. She's just a planchette pusher. And she stole her own personal story from not only Frederick Ireland, but also Don Elkins, who was the original channeler of the raw material, or Law of One. So what else, Bryce? What about
I think too, for what I want people to understand is this comes back from, or really originates from the Law of One. Right. And the Law of One, it's so funny because, the Cassiopaeans use a lot of terminology from the Law of One: service to self, service to others, all that kind of stuff. But it's obvious that Laura nor her followers have actually read the Law of One. Because if they did read the Law of One, they would realize they're being scammed by this.
Yeah, and if you take it a step further, if they actually read Don Elkins' biography that is in Secrets of the UFO. It was his first publication before the raw material came out. There's a big section in there that talks about what led Don Elkins to start channeling Ra. And funny enough, Laura's biography sounds very similar.
Well, that's stereotypical. Like for me, I personally believe that Laura is at the minimum a malignant narcissist.
Yeah.
At the minimum. I actually believe she's a psychopath. I think she's already skipped over sociopath and moved into psychopath territory.
Right.
Um,
And we're not just saying this off the cuff.
No, we have evidence. We have
more evidence. If you go back and look at our previous videos we've done, which we've done a lot, it's no longer a claim. I'm sorry.
No, she's not well mentally. And I don't, it's crazy. Like the more people we speak to offline on Zooms, we've got a lot of people we're speaking to. There's somebody that's actually that's an insider that is speaking with us, that we're never going to betray that person's trust. But there's a lot that we have found out. And this woman, I swear to God, Todd, like I have met a lot of really bad people on YouTube. I've worked with really bad people on YouTube.
Yeah.
This woman though, I can't, like, I think she just spends her whole life trying to hurt people. Like, I really think she gets awful and just hurting people. Yeah. And she never takes a break. Like she's constantly doing stuff to people. Yeah. And we have decades of receipts because we are working on a bigger documentary, which I don't even think Laura, if she is a psychopath or at the least a malignant narcissist, she's not even going to care that this documentary is going to paint her in a bad light, because narcissists just want attention regardless.
Right.
And so, but the whole reason for us doing this is we want to save lives. We have Laura is actually Todd's cousin, for those surprised.
Second cousin.
He's like, let's get this straight. She's my second cousin. We've all got those family members, and I find that kind of comical, because I think if you knew the full story of Todd and the Cassiopaeans and the Law of One, I think it's pretty clear to see that this is a very karmic and dharmic thing that he is doing, is doing this to expose his own family member for hurting people. We're never going to change Laura. Laura is a criminal. She's a psychopath.
And let me jump in here for a second. For anyone that might claim that I don't know, I just don't know the Cassiopaean material well enough, I'm sorry, but I used to be a part of the cult. I've read most of Laura's books. And so I'm very, very familiar with the work.
He introduced it to me. So when we first started dating, he would tell me about the Law of One. And I really gravitated towards the Law of One because the Law of One was very benign. It really just explained kind of the roadmap of Prakriti, which is nature, not the soul, but nature and choices and karma as you go up in your evolution back to God. Yeah. And then he started telling me about the Cassiopaeans, and I never really would read the transcripts. Todd would just read them and tell them to me. And then Todd suggested that I start reading the Cassiopaean transcripts on my channel, like live to you guys. And I don't, for my people that have been around for a while, I don't take anything down. I don't, I know, right, Angie? Daughter, God. Sorry about that. That's why we're doing this too, is to also course correct here. Right. So you guys know, if you've been around, I don't profess to have all the answers, and I'm this is a research channel, a deep dive channel, and so my opinion has changed on a lot of things as I've evolved on this channel, but I don't take anything down. If YouTube takes something down, that's YouTube, but I don't, because I'm not ashamed to change my mind. That's kind of the point of evolution. So you can still find those videos where I'm reading from the transcripts, and I'm a very sassy person. Actually, I think I'm more sassy online than I am offline. Do you think so, Todd?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's when I'm passionate about something, and I would be reading these like transcripts to you guys, and I would be in the middle of it and be like, what the fuck? Like I would just be like sitting there going, what is this shit? Like
then you would get done reading the transcript, then you would come out and we would get in an argument, but you was like, you'd be upset about what you were reading, and you would ask me like, what did you get me into? And it took me a while to come around, but really what woke me up immediately, something I never picked up on reading the books, is it's what woke me up, Bryce. You tell them that it was the
claim that she's the Messiah.
Right. Yeah.
The chosen one.
Because the early Cassiopaean transcripts talk about that there was this sort of wave of consciousness that's heading our direction, and eventually, and it's us from the future that are eventually going to merge with ourselves once the wave comes. And and within the channeling, the transcripts, the Cassiopeans never once said that the wave was one particular person. Laura turned it around and made it seem like that she was the wave, and that it was her consciousness that was going to merge with,
like she's God, basically.
yeah, right, the second coming of Christ, basically.
Yeah.
And I never came across that. I would always
It was
just
an
read. I would
article.
read
She
the
wrote it
books.
in an
I would have the books
article.
in hand and read it. I didn't do a whole lot of reading or research online about the Cassiopeans and about Laura. Had I done that, I probably would have woken up earlier, because all it took was me to read that article that Bryce put in front of me about her being the wave, and I was like, "Well, that's bullshit." And that was it for me. Then I flipped, and then I started going in and doing research, and I got into the Wayback Machine, and holy shit, like, there is so much out there that exposes her. I'm surprised that I'm surprised that she's not incarcerated, and I'm surprised that she still has any followers, because of what this woman has done and what people have put out there, including Vincent Bridges and Jay Widener, if you're familiar with those two authors. Vincent Bridges is no longer with us. Jay Widener is. And yeah, it's insane. And every time I go in and do more research, I just find more stuff, you
She's
know?
hurt people. I mean, guys, and I will say, yeah, her followers call her the main anchor of service to others
Oh my
energy.
God.
He is not service to others, you
Well,
guys.
for one, let's back up. For one,
Service.
the Cassiopeans said in their second session that their service to self.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
So
tell
you
you
service
right. I
yourself or
saw
service to
that. And
others.
I was like, Todd, like I remember I came to you and I was like, Todd, it's right there. It's right there.
I don't know how, well, I don't know how I missed it, but also, the books I read back when I was a lot younger, I was in my 20s. And so I didn't have the same discernment that I have now. Um, and so seeing when the Cassiopeans answered, when they asked if they serve self or others, they said, "We serve self through others." That's
That's
service
service
to
to
self.
self. That is service to self.
So
And in the
they said
law
it right from the very beginning. So anyone who thinks that the Cassiopeans are service to others is full of shit. And then when you understand it, you go back and read it, and it was like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. Not only Laura's actions, but also the information the Cassiopeans are putting out there. What they're doing, what the Cassiopeans are doing, are getting you deeper in the muck of Prakriti.
yeah, deeper in the what they call Maya in Sanskrit, the illusion.
So, yeah,
Illusionary.
and Laura likes to talk about exiting the matrix. This information just
Pulls you deeper.
it snares you in the matrix. Yeah, propaganda, exactly, absolutely. It takes you down conspiracy cul-de-sacs. They act as though if you somehow figured out all the conspiracies and the truth behind those conspiracies, that somehow that's going to lead to your awakening. No, absolutely
No,
not.
absolutely not. And that's why we encourage people to read the Yoga Sutras as well, and read the Law of One, because the Law of One never even says that. It's
Right.
about your actions and about your understanding that the natural world that you live in is an illusion. Prakriti, nature is an illusion. Anything that has a birth, a life, and a death, therefore has changing, is constantly ebbing and flowing, is an illusion. Now, it's an important illusion. It's a tool we use. That's why exercise is the crux of spirituality, because it forces that confronting the mortality with the immortality and all the stuff that goes on with that. But the point, like this, the yoga chittavritti nirodha, and it's like Ram Dass said it perfectly. Like Ram Dass, he said, the point of spirituality is to become a nobody.
Right.
It's not to become a somebody. It's to
Right.
become a nobody, to understand you are pure consciousness.
Yeah.
And there are people out there who are mentally slow, have disabilities, and they're probably going to polarize greater service to others than most of the people in the conspiratorial world.
Right.
And these conspiracies that Laura talks about really serve the ego, which is service to self.
Yeah.
That's not service to others.
You know, and even in the raw material, they talk about how one way to figure out if it's a service to self channeling is they push doom and gloom.
Right.
And that's exactly what conspiracy is about. It's good to know that we're being manipulated, that they're
Yeah.
trying to control our minds and they're trying to control us. And that, yes, there are factions that are working against us and want to enslave us. That's all good and well.
That's
And
the nature of their density. That's
right.
just
And
the nature of the friction. Yeah.
And it's good to know that. It's good to be aware of that. But do you need to know every single detail? No, you don't. You just need to continue working on yourself to understand that we live in the illusion. The illusion goes all the way up through all the densities. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, until we eventually, as far as I understand, merge back with the creator. So we're always going to live with the battle between Prakriti and Purusha.
Yeah, that is what the Yoga Sutras are all about. And it doesn't matter what knowing about the Knights Templar, how does that do anything for your shadow work?
Right.
Dealing with yourself.
Right.
It's fascinating. It's super juicy and interesting, but it's more entertainment.
Right.
At this point, you know, like a lot of what the Cassiopaeans talk about are, which I say Cassiopean, right now we know for a fact that Laura does not channel. We know that for a fact.
But it's important. Don't base your spirituality, your spiritual journey on the information that has to do with the illusion. Like like Bryce said, it's entertainment. It's good to be informed, but at the same time, it's got nothing to do with your spiritual development in the end. Some people, it's a gateway. It wakes them up. It's like, wow, okay, it's not as they tell us it is.
Well, if the world's not real, then what else is not real? Okay, well then who am I really? You know, like that's where it starts. So if you're not working on yourself, and when I say working on yourself, I mean yourself, your shadow work, your it's service to self. Right, well, she knows she's actually pushing a planchette because she is actually taking all these. And the funny thing is I think Laura's met her match with me. Actually, I'm not even, I know factually I'm a hell of a lot smarter than she is. I have a hell of a higher IQ than she does. I know that. Yeah. But girl, I've read all the books that you claim to have read, and I know where you're getting your information that you're putting on the board. Putting it on the board, and it's coming from books. It's not coming from, and half of it's wrong. Half of it's absolutely wrong. And have you ever noticed that she's never wrong?
Right.
The Cassiopaeans never say she's wrong.
Right. And something else I'll bring up really quick is that I have heard many times, and I'm actually I'll post a link below. It's the Godlike Productions thread. That's really old. It's a Wayback Machine archived link. And there were actually people that used to work for Laura, and they would transcribe for Laura, and they woke up immediately when they would send Laura the transcripts, and then when she would post the transcripts online, she changed the transcripts.
Yeah. Oh, she's changed it so many times.
And those people were like, wait a second, that's not what it said. I listened to the tapes and I transcribed this. Here's exactly what it says, but that's not what you put out.
It's fake. She puts out fake news, guys. She's like mainstream media.
Yeah, Zora. Yeah, I think you were on one of our last ones, and you said you went in there and read it. I mean, I'm not even a quarter way through that thread on Godlike Productions, and my jaw's on the floor. I just have to stop because it's just too much. There's so many inside people that talk about what's going on, and it's just absolutely insane. I'm going to post that link because you can't get through 5 pages without realizing this woman is a psychopath and she's full of shit. Now let's back up just a second. So when the channeling was legit, before Laura was pushing the planchette, they were still service to self. And that's not Frederick Ireland's fault.
He just didn't know. He didn't know about the law of one. But the funny thing is if you go back to those beginning channelings, the ones that Fred does by himself make me emotional. Right. They are so beautiful. And since we've been talking to Lou, I want to go back on this. Yeah, the Cassiopaeans are doom and gloom. Has Lou ever been doom and gloom, Todd?
No.
Our audience, Lou always makes people laugh.
Right.
He makes people cry.
Yeah.
I know it's a they.
Yeah.
It's the most social
Not
memory.
today, like they not
Yeah,
not
yeah, not like
today.
the woke,
You
like
have to understand if you understand a law of one, it's a social Lou is a social
it's
memory
just mini
complex.
soul talking. It's
Lou's
it's
not
a
a
literal
name,
it's a
Lou's a
literal
vibration.
they. It's a
Yeah.
literal multiple. But I always just say he because in my mind I see Lou as like a gay uncle for some reason, like a fabulous gay uncle. But I mean, I always we were talking about how witty Lou is, who's a fourth density service to others. And we know that a sense of humor is a sign of the positive, of the light. The
Right.
light can laugh. I mean, we talk about how somebody asked that question once when I have orbs in my camera. What is that? And Lou said, sometimes it's dust. Yeah, sometimes it's Lizzie or fourth density negative. Sometimes it's Lou. Family photo. Just the wittiness of Lou is just, and they use colloquial, like what did he say the other night? Like, why won't you appear to us? Y'all aren't ready for this jelly or something like. They're
Right. Uh-huh.
really funny, and
Yeah.
always leave like they always remind people. It makes me emotional. Like when we're doing them live, many times Lou at the end will remind people like how beautiful you are and how it makes like I'm getting emotional right now. Like how many times has Lou said, "You have no idea how beautiful you like."
Right.
Makes me
Yeah.
emotional, like in that you are the one in power. Like
That was one of the coolest things recently that we were asking, well, who's in control? And it's so funny that none of us could figure it out. And Lou was like, we were like, Lou was asking,
like
we were asking Lou, who's in control? We were like, right. We were like the Lou Bishmati or this or that. We guessed like 5 different things. And Lou said, you really want to know? We were like, yeah. Lou said, us, we're in control. And it was like, duh.
Lou was like, they're the pathetic ones. They spend billions of dollars to try to convince you to give up your power. They do all these things, all these rituals to take something from you. That means you're in control. You're in charge. How pathetic are they? That is not something a service to self entity would say.
And it's something else that counters the Cassiopaeans is Lou is always like, keep it simple, stupid. That the spiritual path is so simple. It's so easy, so clear. And then on the flip side, with the Cassiopaeans, they want you to read every single book, read every single post of Laura's, right. Every single post in the forum to get yourself up to speed and understand all these conspiracies, or you're falling behind. You're going to get left behind when the wave comes. When Laura's fat rolls come.
Flawless fat rolls. It's her blubber. Y'all, we're mean to her about Laura or Laura approved. Yeah.
Right.
We know she makes fun of people who leave her. She makes fun of their looks. So that's why we're making fun of her looks, because Laura, you really shouldn't be like, Laura, you did not win in the genetics department. So I would be quiet about that if I were you. You didn't win in the academic.
Saying you can't put lipstick on a pig, but she proved that saying wrong.
Yeah, she tried. We realized the last live she did, she put a bunch of. Well, we're gonna start reacting again.
She got her hair done. She got her hair done and got some makeup on.
You can't put lipstick on a pig, Laura. Like, your soul is so ugly. Your human inside of you is so the person inside of you is so nasty and cruel. You will never be pretty, even if you lost 200 pounds and took 20 years off of your age and had no wrinkles and was shot up with Botox. You will never be attractive because you're so horrible to people.
Her gray chakras.
Your gray chakras. If you guys missed it, I'll go back after we're done. I've got probably later today, and put in the description box some of the past videos we've done about her racism, how horribly racist she is, about the time she tried to get someone to hurt, I can't say it on YouTube, but to harm themselves and then blame it on their ex-husband, to lie to the police.
No, not their ex-husband, their current husband and father of their children.
I mean, just horrific things that I've never in my life would even consider, that I know most of our friends watching would never consider doing. The amount of times she's lied, the amount of times she's stolen. I have had 2 now breaches. We know she has somebody that's high up in her IT. Absolutely. That works high up in computers. She absolutely is. She shares what I can say on YouTube, schmutzy postings from the schmutzis and Yitler. Terrible. She's terrible. She's not even Hey, Laura. Yeah, we know she's watching. I
Uh,
have had this month alone. I've had identity theft. I've had someone in France hack into my PayPal and charge a bunch of shit to my PayPal. I've had
well,
my
it's,
credit
it's
card.
funny enough, weren't they? Didn't someone charge some diet pills or something
Yeah, I had some weight loss stuff
from
that I
France?
was paying for. I mean, it got taken care of, and I talked to Apple and all the companies, and they immediately like filed a case. And then my credit card, one of my credit cards is being used in France right now. But before I even picked up on it, Capital One shut it off and sent me a new card. So Capital One realized
Yeah,
that I don't need to buy diet pills. Sorry, Laura. Some of us don't need diet pills. So,
yeah.
um, and so I'm just going to say that's what she does. And that's what she's been scamming people this whole time. Her whole life is a scam. Her own father wanted nothing to do with her, and we know why.
And nor there are kids.
Nor do her kids. And I'm going to say, like, I'm not about parents abandoning their children at all. I think that's actually really cowardly. I'm talking to my dad right now. That's really cowardly when you abandon your children, which is what my dad did to us. But in Laura's situation, I don't blame her father for abandoning her because she has this propensity when she is not getting her way, she has a propensity to lie about essay, we'll say. You guys know what I mean, essay. And
Yeah.
that's why as a woman myself, I'm not a one, even though I've had experiences like that before in the past, I don't believe all women because I know women like Laura exist.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why her father left. That's why he left, was because when she doesn't get her way, that's what she does. When she tried to schmurder that man, when she was tried and arrested for attempted schmurdering, when she was like 20, 19, 20, she said that he was trying to what? What did she say? He was trying to SA her.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, she got
Bullshit.
caught breaking into his house and trying to steal from him.
And so she tried to unalive him, didn't succeed. He lived, and then she got arrested. She got off because the jury believed her bullshit story.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we know that we've heard stories about things that she's done to animals, which is a sign of a psychopath. Laura, you want to talk about how you put your dog down years ago because you thought the wave was coming, you dumbass?
The pole shift. It was the pole shift.
It was a pulse. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're a sick person. This, and I hate to say this, Todd, and I don't mean any like threats by this at all, but seriously, the world would be a better place if she was not on it. I can actually, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's mild compared to other things we've heard that she has done to animals,
Yeah.
which is a sign of a psychopath, right? Psychopaths hurt animals before they hurt humans.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so with that being said, if you guys want to get caught up, we are working on a documentary, a big exclusive documentary about this. And it's so much that we're having to go through because this is just the gift that keeps on giving. She
Yeah.
does. This is going to be one of the most explosive documentaries. Like, and if you are somebody connected to the Cassiopaean cult or know Laura or you're related to Laura and you want to contact us, you can email me at esotericatlanta, my channel name at gmail.com. Todd, what's your, just before we get into this,
The little, if they can look, they can find me, the little confused, confused little wanderer at gmail.com.
100%. 100%. She's
Yeah.
protected. She talks so much about psychopaths because she's protected.
She puts out the bullet list of what makes someone a psychopath, and the crazy thing is
It's all her.
She fits every single one perfectly. Yeah. But she likes to label people either COINTELPRO or a psychopath to dehumanize them. And that allows her and her minions, the Cassiopaeanists, her cult members, when they dehumanize these people, then they could go in and destroy them and still think that they're service to others. Because then they think they're defending themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually fits.
She's what they call an organic portal 2.0. It's an organic portal that got tricked into third density. They did their 75,000 year third density cycle. They got kicked back into first density. Then they go their natural route, and then they pop into their natural third density. And we call that an organic portal 2.0. And and they never have fully developed chakras, and that's why we were calling Laura's chakras gray. They have gray chakras. So in essence, she is an organic portal, but one that has been through. They were tricked into third, then they get kicked back to first, and then they make it back around to their native third density cycle, and voila, this is what you have. It's an organic portal that could do much more damage.
Yeah. Before we get into the house scam, Todd, too, I just want, before I forget, do we want to talk about ARC and George Soros quickly? Speaking of,
oh yeah, let's just do that really quick, because I have a Jay. Let me pull that up. I have a Jay Widener quote, and this is since Jay said that. Here, let me pull this up. Let me share screen.
Do you know how to share screen on StreamYard?
Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out. Then I go to slides or PDFs, right?
Yeah, or if it's on the web, you just do share screen on the web. And then you've got to actually pull, or I can pull it up once you put it backstage. Sorry, guys. StreamYard's a little complicated when it comes to sharing. It's not as easy as Zoom.
Shit.
Oh, okay. Yes. The ARC and George Soros. So you know who ARC worked for, right? Drum roll. He worked for George Soros.
Yeah.
So if anybody is co-Intel Pro, it's Laura. Although, as we were saying before we started the show.
All right, here we go.
Hold on. I hate to break it to you, Laura. I don't even think that the Illuma Schmati has standards. I don't think even the Illuma Schmati wants you, girl. So I'm just going to put that out there. But yes.
Okay, so this is from Jay Widener himself. This was put up back in 2003. And Jay's saying, on her early website in the 1990s, when I first noticed her in her odd activities, she wrote several times about how George Soros and her husband, Ark Yadik, were associates. She claimed that Soros paid for Ark to travel to the U.S. For sure, we know that Ark Yadik and Soros were on a panel once to study depopulation. Now we know that Soros is behind the funding of Agenda 21, which is...
Gotta be very careful with these words, Todd.
Okay. Well, why don't you read it, since you're...
Well, let me just say, so we have a word for depopulation, which is called what? A eugenicist. Eugenics.
Okay, eugenics.
So Laura, are you an ARC eugenic? Are you eugenicist?
Uh-huh.
I think you are, because you're also a white nationalist, which that tends to be the case. Right. So as Soros became more well-known with his funding of the secret Schmorder, the NWO, fronts was starting to get out, Laura decided to diminish the link between her husband and the father of the new order, we'll say George Soros. Her site has since been scrubbed clean of the references. There is little doubt in my mind that the entire Cassiopaean experiment is a mind-controlled experiment designed by the order, we'll say, the new one, as well as being an associate of George Soros. Ark Yadik also worked for DARPA. I'll say that one time, okay? The DOD's favorite mind control agency. Whatever you do, stay away from Laura Knight Yadik. Not only will you be scammed out of all your money, but she will get into your mind and attempt to control that also. With links to the Pentagon mind control organizations like the D word, and the smart move would be to stay away from her. She's a dangerous person. And I'm sorry for those watching from Rumble. Those from Rumble understand YouTube. We do have to watch what we say.
Yeah. So that was from Jay Widener.
Who wants to send that one over to Jay Campbell and have him explain that to us?
Right.
Jay Campbell, who claims to be a truther, but yet, bro, you're in bed with George Soros. I mean, and Jay Campbell, you got a handler now, buddy. Do you not realize that? Like, who's that guy? Hamilton?
Harrison, I think it is. Right. Uh-huh.
Bro, listen, Jay, I've had a couple of people try to be my handler, and I ex-nate that real fast because I'm smart. I'm smart. Yeah. You see, I'm smart. So,
well, good thing Hunter woke up. Hunter woke up and left Jay. Hunter, and then all of a sudden, voila, you've got Jay had a handler.
Voila, Jay now has a handler, and he's in bed with somebody who is partnered with George Soros. So, congratulations, Jay Campbell. You are a officially controlled opposition, my friend.
Yeah, Zor, you and me both.
Yeah, Todd did. It caused issues in our relationship. Like, I would come out yelling at Todd, like, what the fuck is this?
And what did you just get me into?
This woman is crazy. She has, at first I thought she just had behavioral problems. That's minimum is the behavioral. She's a full-on psychopath. And so a malignant psychopath. So Todd, let's get into the house scam. So this is why Laura still has an active warrant for her arrest. We know you do, Laura. You can't hide the facts. You have an active warrant for your arrest. Before we talk about that, let's talk about extradition. So between the United States and France, there is extradition. So the United States and France will extradite criminals back to each other's country. So again, for those who don't know what that is, if I commit a crime in the United States and I run off to France, France has the right to extradite me, to work with American authorities to extradite me back to the United States to face charges, and vice versa. Most Western world countries who are allies of each other have extradition agreements. Now, here's the problem. Most of the time, people aren't extradited unless it's for like an unaliving. Extraditing someone back to their home country costs a lot of money from both countries. So a lot of times people who have a warrant for their arrest in one country, if it's for a financial crime, they won't get extradited because it's too expensive for both countries. All right. So I just want to put that out there. Yes, Laura Yadick does have an active warrant for her arrest. That's why she has not been back to the United States in over 20 years?
Yeah.
It's because there's an active warrant for her arrest.
More than one, from what
we understand. There's multiple warrants for her arrest.
And from what I also understand is that there are multiple people that are ready to sue her immediately if she shows back up in the U.S.
So she can't come back. But Laura, you go on these shows and laugh and say that's not true. Well, here's the thing. Todd and I will pay first class tickets. We'll dip into our savings. We'll max out a credit card for you and Ark to fly back home to Tampa, Florida. The deal is, though, Todd and I have to be in the airport to witness it. We know you're not going to take us back. We'll even buy round trip for you. We know you're not going to take us up on the offer, though, girl, because we know what's going to happen once they slide your passport. Once you land in the United States and they slide that passport through, you know what's going to happen, right? All those warrants are going to get flagged, and the next thing you know, you're going to be cuffed and brought and hauled off to jail. You and Ark both. Because there's also warrants for Ark's arrest as well. Because he was involved in this with you. All right. So you want to get into it, Todd?
Let's get into it. So what I did was there was information that I pulled from multiple different places, from the Godlike Productions. Also, Vincent Bridges did a 3-part article on this, and Jay Widener also did some deep dive into the legal stuff behind this as well. So there are multiple people that worked on bringing all this information to the surface. And so what I did is it would just be too long for Bryce and I to go and read all of these articles. So what I did was I took all of these articles and I fed it into ChatGPT, and I said, could you just condense all of this into one cohesive story? And that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to read.
And I want to say, Todd, we know everything. We've gone through everything that ChatGPT organized for us, because Todd has been working on this house scam story for like months now, and all this information is accurate. I forgot to say, though, before we go any further, Todd, we stopped if you are someone connected to Laura, the Cassiopaeans, from any time, we've been talking to a bunch of people from the 90s. And you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to me at esotericatlanta@gmail.com. If you want to be public, we will absolutely bring you on the channel. We'll introduce you to the documentary crew, all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to be. If you just want to bring us information and you want to say, and you want to stay anonymous, then we will keep you anonymous. There are a lot of people who have given us lots of information that we understand. She's a scary bitch. She's a psychopath. So we get that. And so do not feel like if you contact us that we're not gonna dox you. If you want to stay private, we'll stay private.
We understand why you're afraid.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna respect that. Yeah. So if you want to reach out and you don't want to go public, totally fine. You just want to give us information, we will be more than happy to honor your privacy and keep you private. So, all right, go on, Todd.
Okay. So I'll just start reading this article. Documented claims and supporting records. This is not simply an old internet feud or a collection of rumors. I have personally examined the records behind the central accusations in this report. Those records include property information, transaction documents, contemporaneous statements, correspondence, and accounts from people who paid money into the raffle. I retained the documentation supporting these claims. What emerges is the story of a house publicly offered as a raffle prize, money collected from supporters, and winner who was never publicly identified, and a property that was later sold for cash. It is also the story of Laura Knight Yedick and Art Yedick leaving the United States for France, while those left behind try to determine what happened to the money and to the house. The plan in 2002, Laura and Art were preparing to relocate from Newport Richey, Florida, to France. To help finance the move, they announced what they called the Raffle of the Millennium. The prize was their home, a roughly 3,000 square foot, 6-bedroom house on a double lot. It was advertised as having a market value of approximately $200,000.
Let's pause there for the young people. In the early 2000s, having a house valued at $200,000 would probably be the equivalent of like $1 million today, right, Todd?
Yes.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
So, and we're not going to give the address. You can find the address online. We decided not to give the address because people do live there now that have nothing to do with this. But the house is not, it's kind of run down. Like even back then when she was trying to raffle it, it was kind of a gross house. Like it needed a lot of repairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously.
The raffle was promoted through the Perseus Foundation, an organization controlled by the Yaddicks. Supporters were invited to purchase tickets for a chance to win the property. The plan was presented as straightforward. The Perseus Foundation would conduct the raffle, the mortgage would be paid off, one ticket holder would receive the house, and the remaining proceeds would help establish the Quantum Future School in France. But this is not what happened. The nonprofit problem. The Perseus Foundation had been registered as a nonprofit corporation in Florida. However, when the raffle began, serious questions remained about whether it had received final IRS recognition as a tax-exempt organization. The distinction was critical. Florida raffles are not simply private gambling operations. They must be conducted by qualified organizations and are subject to rules governing fundraising, record keeping, advertising, and the public identification of winners. The foundation's legal status was therefore not a minor technicality. It went directly to whether the organization was legally entitled to conduct the raffle in the first place. The Perseus Foundation was also reportedly managed by Yadick Consulting, a private for-profit company controlled by Laura and Art. This created an obvious conflict. Money was being raised through a supposed nonprofit, while a company owned by the same people was being paid to manage it. Nonprofits can pay legitimate salaries and operating expenses. That was never the central issue. The issue was whether money raised in the foundation's name was ultimately used for the private benefit of Laura and Art, particularly to finance the relocation to France. The money, sources connected to the organization established at the raffle and related donations brought in somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000. Many payments were reportedly made through PayPal, personal checks, and other traceable financial channels. There should therefore be a substantial paper trail. And then how many tickets were sold? It lists off whether the house was ever legally transferred to a winner.
Let's go through all of this though, because this is important. Like how many tickets were sold, and we know this is important because I have a nonprofit, guys. I know exactly how nonprofits work. How many tickets were sold? How much money was collected and where it was deposited? How much was paid to Yaddick Consulting? What expenses were charged to the Perseus Foundation? How much money financed the move to France? Whether the mortgage was even paid off? And whether the foundation ever purchased the house, whether the house was ever legally transferred to a winner. Let's go back and let's just kind of talk about the mortgage situation for you can't raffle a house unless it's been completely paid off, correct?
Right.
That's
The law for raffling something off, they would have to, the legal route would be to put that home into a trust. It'd be escrowed to the side. So it's not really owned by anyone but the trust. And then you would have a raffle.
Make sure the mortgage is paid off.
That's just one thing. But the mortgage isn't paid off.
If the mortgage is paid off, it's
and
not
also, we're going to get to this in here, but they hadn't paid back taxes
on the house, on the property tax.
Right. So how could you raffle off something that how can you raffle off something legally that you don't own?
Right. And there was no lawyer. A lawyer is supposed to be involved in this.
Right. Yeah. And there's a certain, well, we're going to get into that. Let's keep going.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, the last line was important. Go back to the last page.
No complete public accounting was produced. Instead, the people asking these questions were attacked. So what people were saying is they were attacking Laura, and she was trying to defend herself. They were like, "Well, this should be simple. All you have to do is post the documents."
Yeah.
There needs to be no argument. Post the proof that you did this legally, and then we're done.
Todd, with the Mysore Foundation, when we bring money into India to help with some kids, every rupee that is spent on a grain of rice, we take a picture of the receipt and we post it.
Right.
So that the people who donate know that their money is going directly into.
And we post video and pictures as we're giving it out.
And for us, for the Mysore Foundation, we take no payment because we're going to India anyway. Like, I don't have a problem with nonprofits actually paying their employees and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I'm going to be in India anyway. So all this money right here, we have a separate checking account for the Mysore Foundation. All that money here goes directly. And if we have any money left over at the end of our trip, what do? We give it to a local safe house, the rest of it to the local safe house. And we show documented evidence of that.
Right.
But people can trust us. They trust because we're not lying. We're showing everything. You can't trust Laura. So this tells me, Todd, that this was a scam from the get-go. This was not an accidental understanding of the law. No. She scammed people from the get-go to get money to move to France.
Yeah.
Because she had other warrants for arrests that were popping up. She had to get out of the United States, didn't she?
Yeah. So the ticket buyer. Several people stated that they paid for raffle tickets but never received numbered tickets or any clear explanation of how the drawing would be conducted. One purchaser said 2 separate PayPal payments were withdrawn from the account, but no actual tickets arrived. When the purchaser asked Laura how the drawing would work, Laura reportedly responded that the matter had been taken care of and that everyone would be informed of the winner. No announcement followed. Another purchaser said Another purchaser said a check for 3 raffle tickets was deposited into an account in the name of the Perseus Foundation and endorsed by ARC. After the drawing was supposedly held, attempts to contact the Yaddicks received no response. They simply cashed my check and disappeared.
Wait. So people were sending in money after the raffle was supposedly done, and they just check anyway?
Another person, no, I don't think that they said after. No.
Okay.
They said after the drawing was supposedly held, attempts to contact the Yaddicks received no response.
They disappeared. They ghosted them.
Right. Yeah. What is this comment? I can't.
For someone so big into objective truth, she's awfully silent when it comes to objective truth relating to her.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah.
That's how she
goes on. This was not an isolated. Wait, another purchaser said, no, we already read that. They simply cashed my check and disappeared. This was not an isolated complaint. People who had financially participated in the raffle wanted to know the most basic fact imaginable: who won the house. They were never given a clear answer.
Okay, let's pause there so people who understand. And when it's a raffle, like even the lottery, what has to happen legally?
They have a certain amount of time, which I think is 48 hours, to announce publicly who the winner was. They have to.
Yeah, it has to be in the newspaper or the news.
Or there has to be a document. They have to post it somewhere.
Yeah, it has to be posted. Yeah, that's the law. So the fact that no one knew who the winner is says that they broke there. Right there is another instance where they actually broke the law. If somebody,
the story that she put out, we're not going to get into it. It's so twisted. It's so confusing. It's nuts. Okay, so the supposed drawing. The raffle was originally scheduled for January 2003, but was extended more than once, supposedly because some supporters wanted additional time to participate after Christmas. The extensions also allowed more money to be collected. Laura later claimed that a winning ticket had been drawn and that she and her family had only 5 days to vacate the property so the house could be turned over to its new owner. She wrote that on the day of the drawing, the family technically no longer had a home. That statement was false. The Yaddicks continued to own the house. The property was not transferred to a raffle winner. County records continued to list it under Laura's former name, Laura Knight Martin. There was no publicly documented transfer to the Perseus Foundation and no transfer for $0 to a winning ticket holder. The supposed winner was never publicly named. So, and I have documentation that someone posted. I'm not going to put that here because we're not going to put the address out there, but there are receipts.
You can find all this stuff. We just choose because somebody, and guys, yeah, if you do find the house or you live in the area, understand that this was over 20 years ago. So somebody else lives there now that has nothing to do with this. So don't like harass them or anything. Yeah.
Within days of the supposed raffle, Laura Ark, their family, and several followers left the United States for France. According to accounts published after the move, tens of thousands of dollars were spent relocating the group and establishing them in a large farmhouse in southern France. The original investigation alleged that substantial sums were withdrawn shortly before the move, including withdrawals made in smaller increments. That stated suspicion was that the structure of the withdrawals was intended to avoid attention from tax or banking authorities. I have documentation supporting the broader allegations that the raffle and foundation money was used in connection with the relocation. Laura herself acknowledged that money from the project made the move possible. Her defense was not that the money had remained untouched. Her defense was that the expenditures were legitimate foundation or management expenses. She did not produce evidence showing that the winner received the house. She argued instead that nonprofit organizations could earn money, pay salaries, contract with private companies, and finance activities connected with their stated purpose. But none of that answered the essential question: where was the winner? You want to read for a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
Laura versus Mr. Most.
Mr. Most is Vincent. Oh, we have right here. Okay.
Right
Mr.
here.
Most is Vincent Bridges. Yeah.
When Vincent Bridges, writing under the name Maynard Most, oh, you know where Maynard comes from?
Where?
One of my favorite books, The Unvanquished by William Faulkner.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you didn't know that, Laura. Smart people who are educated know that. When Vincent Bridges, writing under the name Maynard Most, challenged the legality of the arrangement, Laura did not respond by publishing a clean financial accounting, the winner's identity, or the deed transferring the property. She responded with personal abuse. Typical of a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
She described Bridges as basically a grifter, mocked his economic status, questioned his education. He was highly educated, Laura, suggested he had never earned enough money to understand corporate affairs, and accused him of libel.
That's the thing right there. Confused, accused him of libel. Sorry, Laura has multiple websites, and all they do is libel
People. Yeah, that's all she does is libel people.
Like I have never seen in my life seen someone that's committed the level of libel that Laura has.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is she can't, she might threaten to sue people, but she can't. First of all, you can't sue somebody for saying the truth.
Right. Because there's such a thing as called discovery.
In discovery, it's going to be a hell of a lot worse from her. Sometimes in civil cases, like lawsuits, in the discovery process, the court can find stuff that's criminal. And all of a sudden, a civil lawsuit now turns into criminal felony charges, which we already know she has criminal felony charges warrants. So she's not going to sue you guys. Like, she can't. She can't. It would be very bad for her. She claimed that the raffle rules had been carefully prepared with legal advice. Who's your Laura? Your lawyer, Laura. As a nonprofit, you're supposed to be transparent about that. Who's the lawyer? Who gave you that legal advice? She said everything was supported by contracts, attorneys, accountants, and extensive taxing filing. She also maintained that Yadit Consulting had been legally contracted to manage the Perseus Foundation. That's another thing about money laundering, Todd. Have you noticed that? Like, so many people who money launder create a ton of different businesses.
Right.
Like shell companies. That's what they've done.
Right.
They created all these shell companies.
Yeah.
Bridges and the authors of the investigation responded with abuse of their own. They called Laura a con artist, a thief, a cult leader, and a psychopath. They're not wrong. No. And it's not abusive, it's true. They described the entire operation as a sophisticated confidence game. The exchange became vicious, but beneath the insults was a simple evidentiary dispute. Laura said documentation existed and her critics asked her to produce it. They asked for the foundation's final 501c3 authorization, which you get. I have that for the Mysore Foundation. It was also printed up in the newspaper when my
right. It's really easy to post.
I mean, and it's in like it's in one of the Atlanta papers. They send you the at least here in Georgia, when they send you the your authorization as a 501c3. They also send you a clipping of the newspaper to show you where they announced it in the newspaper that you now have a 501c3. And honestly, the only reason why we opened up a 501c3 was to get people a tax write-off. That was it. That was the only reason why we did it. Otherwise, we were just going to raise money and use it in India anyway, right?
Yeah.
A complete accounting of the raffle proceeds, the amount paid to Yadit Consulting, documentation showing how the money was spent, proof that the Perseus Foundation purchased the house, proof that a legitimate drawing occurred, the name of the winner, the deed transferring the property to the winner. Laura produced none of these things publicly. Instead, she could continue attacking the people asking for them. Because they don't exist, Dodd. They don't exist.
Right. Yeah. Laura blamed the people left behind. Laura eventually claimed that she and ARC had actually lost money on the raffle.
Bullshit.
Yeah. She said they had made arrangements for the raffle's purposes to be carried out after their departure, but that the people left in charge ignored their instructions and attempted to enrich themselves at Laura and ARC's expense.
Always somebody else's fault, isn't it, Todd? Always.
Yeah, this was a remarkable reversal. If it was done legally, there would be no way that people could do it. It would be the lawyer's job to take care of the stuff. If you had all the right people hired, it wouldn't be the people that were left supposedly in the house. The people who controlled the foundation, promoted the raffle, collected the money, owned the house, and left the country were now claiming that the unnamed associates in Florida were responsible for the failure to complete the transaction. Even under Laura's own version of events, the raffle was not completed as publicly promised. A house had been offered, money had been collected, Laura and ARC left for France. No winner was publicly identified. The house remained in their ownership until they sold it. The house was sold. The property records destroy the official story. A deed documents that Laura and ARC sold the Newport Richie house to I'm not going to say their name, on August 22nd, 2003.
Because these people are innocent guys. They were just buying a house. They didn't know, obviously.
The reported sale price was $95,000. This occurred roughly 7 months after the supposed drawing. The property advertised as a $200 raffle prize had not been transferred to a winner. It had been sold to purchasers for $95,000. Laura and Ark signed the transaction documents through a French notary while living in France. I have the documentation. I'm not going to post it here. If you want it, email me. Were the Swansons the raffle winners? If so, why did they pay $95,000 for a house they had supposedly won? A raffle winner does not normally pay nearly $100,000 to receive the prize. If these people were not the winners, then where was the person whose ticket Laura claimed had been drawn? There is no satisfactory answer because the evidence points to the obvious conclusion. The house was never given away through the raffle. Laura and Art collected the raffle money, left for France, retained ownership of the house, and later sold the property for an additional $95,000.
They made almost $250,000 off of this scam.
Yeah. If the estimated raffle proceeds were accurate, the combined amount obtained through the raffle donations and later property sales may have approached $250,000. Yep.
Yeah. That's a crime. That's a crime. That's a felony.
You can read.
Potential criminal exposure. The conduct described here was not merely unethical. It potentially implicated several areas of state and federal law. Illegal gambling or raffling activity. If the Perseus Foundation was not legally qualified to conduct the raffle, the operation itself may have violated Florida law. Fraud. This is a big one. Fraud. Money was collected based on the promise that a drawing would occur and that a participant would receive the house. If no legitimate drawing occurred and no house was awarded, the underlying transaction was fraudulent, grand theft, or larceny. If the organizers knowingly kept money obtained through false representation, the amount involved would place the conduct far beyond petty theft. Mail fraud. Checks, promotional materials, and other communications connected with the raffle were reportedly transmitted through the United States mail, which brings it to a federal felony when it crosses state lines. So for everybody who's not from the United States, there's state law and there's federal law. Which
if you fuck up and commit a federal crime, holy shit!
The state is like Disney World compared to federal. Like federal prisons are awful. So how do you? It turns federal when you cross state lines. So when you involve the mail, basically.
And the feds win 98% of their cases that they take to trial.
Yeah. So this is what she's running from, guys. She could end up in federal prison. That's why
one of the things she's running from.
One of the things. That's why I promise you, she's not going to take us up on our offer to pay for her a first-class ticket back to America, because she will end up in federal prison. They will handcuff her and they will not bail her out because she is a flight risk.
Yeah.
So, wire fraud. The raffle was promoted online and payments were collected electronically. Using interstate electronic communications to carry out fraudulent scheme can create federal jurisdiction. Tax violations. If the foundation income was diverted for private benefit, improperly reported, or moved through a for-profit company controlled by the same individuals, the transactions could have created serious federal tax exposure. Structuring or financial reporting violations. The investigation also raised questions about how the money was withdrawn and transferred before the move to France. No single one of these issues depends on whether Laura considered herself justified. The relevant questions are what contributors were promised, what actually occurred, and how the money was used, and what was reported to the authorities. So that's why, for us, for me personally, I have 2 businesses technically. I have my nonprofit and then I have my yoga business. These are separate businesses because one is for profit. My yoga business is for profit. Nonprofit is different. These are very separate. Okay. Same with Todd. He has his business that's a for-profit business, and then he also contributes to the foundation. We keep these very separate, don't we?
Yeah.
because they're different businesses.
Yeah.
All right. Is there another page?
Yes, I got it. I just pulled it
Oh.
up. Prosecution and extradition. The original material claimed that the federal authorities had examined the possibility of prosecution and that Laura's residence in France complicated enforcement. Because the raffle was promoted through the internet and payments crossed state lines, investigators believed the conduct could fall within federal jurisdiction. There was also speculation that Laura and Ark chose France partially because extradition from France to the United States could be difficult and time consuming. The case of Ira Endhorn, who remained in France for years while fighting extradition, was cited as an example of how long proceedings could take. Whether Laura consciously studied that case cannot be established from the raffle evidence alone, but her relocation undeniably placed her outside the immediate reach of Florida authorities at the precise moment questions about the raffle were beginning to surface. The original investigators believed that returning to the United States could expose her to arrest or questioning. They also argued that the United States might be unwilling to pay for an expensive extradition proceeding in what authorities could regard as a comparatively limited financial fraud case. Their hope was that French authorities would eventually act on separate allegations arising inside France, which eventually they did. France did do their own investigation.
We talked about in the past video. My question is, Todd, do you think old Georgie Poo
could have helped him get out?
Helped him get out of it?
It's possible. Yeah.
I know. Listen, Laura, I don't know George Soros. Georgie Poo's not in my contact list. Seems like we have evidence that he's in yours.
Yeah. The problems followed them to France. The move did not bring an end to the controversy. According to accounts established in the original investigation, Laura and her organization soon became involved in a series of disputes in France. A former landlord reportedly pursued legal action over damage to a property occupied by the group. A local official was said to have objected to statements published about him and considered legal action for defamation. The owner of another property allegedly pursued the group over a bad check of approximately 50,000 euros. French authorities were also reportedly receiving complaints portraying the organization as a potentially dangerous cult. The original investigators encouraged critics and former members to send information directly to local French authorities. Their strategy was straightforward. Even if extradition over the Florida raffle was unlikely, legal violations committed in France could result in expulsion or force Laura and Ark to return to a country where the American allegations remain unresolved. These French disputes were separate from the house raffle, but they revealed a continuing pattern. I mean, after all this, like how could anyone consider Laura and Ark to be service to others? This is all service to self behavior. I don't run into issues like this in my life. Laura runs into them repeatedly.
No.
Laura likes to say, oh, these are all just smear campaigns because I'm bringing all of this dangerous material to the supposed controllers. You know, the black hats are threatened by me. No, Laura, you're just regurgitating old worn out conspiracies, trying to bring a little new slant with your fake channeling the Cassiopaeans. You know, that's basically what it is. No one's threatened by you. No authorities are threatened by you. The powers that be, they're not threatened by you.
You're helping them out.
Yeah.
And I actually like what Jay Weidner had to say. I think that's a very interesting observation with their partnership with old George.
Right. Who's the handler here?
Who's the handler? Are you running this as a mind? Who better to run a mind control operation than a psychopath?
Right.
Because those of us who actually have souls and actually are capable of empathy would not be able to do a job like that. it would eat us alive to do that to another person.
Right. The amount of I've never really, truly, honestly, in my life, I have never I'd seen someone put so much energy into smearing other people and libeling other people as Laura has. I mean, I don't even know if I have enough time in my day to put out as much smear smut as Laura has put out on these people. The research she does, she'll go in. I saw a guy, I know I've mentioned this in a previous episode, but this is the saddest case. This guy happened to buy all of Laura's books off of Amazon. He read them and then he came back and he did a critical review. He's like, I don't like this work. It was hard to read. I did my best. I read through it. And he gave his critique. Laura went in and like did a deep dive on this guy, background checks, deep dives, contacted friends and family and doxed him and did this whole huge expose article on this poor guy who just happened to give her a bad book review. I mean, literally, this poor guy. I mean, at the end, of course, she called him a psychopath, crazy, like all the platitudes she uses to demean people. But just this poor dude, like, where do you find the time to do that?
He left one like review of a book. That's it. And he deserved all of that. Laura, girl, I hardly even check my Rumble comments. I don't know what people are saying on there. And sometimes I don't even get to my YouTube comments. Listen, Laura, there are some YouTubers I know on this platform. Do you know what they do when they get nasty comments under YouTube? They heart them.
Right. And they read them out loud.
Yeah, like you are so uncool, Laura. Like you're such a fucking dork and stupid
and thin-skinned. You would think a messiah would have a thicker skin and a stronger psyche.
Right. You can't handle somebody saying one negative thing about you, even if it's not even about you, but just your work, which are two separate things. A smart person understands that. And when someone criticizes your work, they're not necessarily criticizing you. Like when you go to school, Laura, and you have professors who like critique your work to make it better so you can refine it. I mean, on Fusion Buddy Studio, Todd, what have we been doing? We've been totally, surprise, we have a new website, but we're actually revamping it even more. Why? Because we're taking feedback from people to try to make it a better experience. We're not taking feedback from people and ruining their lives. No, we're actually, our clients, our people, we want to make sure their experience is good. And as an author, Laura, as someone who writes books and sells books, you want that feedback. That's what a smart person would do to refine your work, to make it better the next time. And how come, Laura, how come you're allowed to say terrible things about people, make shit up about people? But the minute someone brings a very obvious issue, you have to then go ruin their lives. You are such a textbook narcissist, Laura. Textbook narcissist. It's actually comical how obvious you are. How obvious. And how obvious it is you ain't channeling shit.
Uh-oh. Lizzie's, if she is channeling anything, it'd be Lizzie's.
I don't even think of Lizzie's fuck with her anymore.
I
mean, like I said, even the Illuma Shivani has standards, Laura. And how sad is it that you don't even qualify for their standards? You're such a low life piece of shit, low rent. I learned that word from you, Todd. Low rent, white trash. If Jesse Knight were alive today, he'd smack you. Like, you don't have a right to call yourself a knight. The Knights did wonderful things for Florida. You have done the reverse. If I were your children, I would be so embarrassed. I'm actually, Laura, even though my dad is not in my life, I'm proud of both sides of my family. Todd, my family is good though, aren't they? They're good people. They're good people. They do good for the world.
Yeah.
They're
fun.
Poor children. Like, how ashamed they must be. How ashamed they must be. And Ark, what's it like sleeping beside that whale each night? I mean, do you have to move her belly?
I doubt. Well, it's funny because Ark tried to escape for a while. It was when I was reading through the Godlike Productions. Ark had like gone on the run. No one could find him for like weeks.
I know, he left. He abandoned ship. Actually, that was the one time I've actually had a little bit of respect for Ark. Ark, you should have kept running, bro.
Like someone was saying, Ark's gone. Someone was reporting in back then. It was like Ark's gone AWOL. No one could figure out what happened to him or where he went.
Could you imagine? Like, I think I would rather spend the day with George Soros.
I think he ran back to his ex-wife. I think he ran back to his ex-wife, and then he realized she had given all his money to the church, and then he came back.
I mean, it is. Well, I love that. I actually would love to speak to Ark's ex-wife because I don't like the church myself. But the fact that she in the divorce settlement took his money and donated it to the church, girl, you so petty. Like, that is some petty stuff, and I am here for it. Like the stuff that Laura's written about the church and all that kind of stuff, and I speak shit about the church too. But the fact that you did that, like, slow clap to Laura's ex, she's the real hero in all of this.
Right,
is Ark's ex-wife. Can you imagine though? And I just want to speak to Laura. Okay, so can we just talk a little bit more shit because this is so fun. Laura deserves it. So in our research too, we found that she had an affair with Ark. She was married. He was married. She was convinced that her husband, her first husband, the father of, well, I don't know, is he the father of her children? Apparently she doesn't know who the father of her children
is. Yeah, she doesn't know who the father of her children is. But it don't matter. I'm sure her children are great. I'm sure her children are great people.
Yeah, that's they're your second cousins once removed. They're her children.
Yeah, I'm not talking shit about that.
I mean, to have a whoopsie one night and not know who the father is of one of your kids is one thing, but for many of them, girl, you in the United States, we say you've been rode hard and put away wet. That's not a compliment. Anyway, but so
what do they call it? A slam pig.
A slam pig. You learned that from the look at you, Todd Roderick.
I hear it from the other room sometimes. You and your okay.
I love reality TV and the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. You're a slam pig. We're gonna start using that. You're a slam pig, Laura. What is a slam pig? It's an ugly woman who will do anything with a man, schmexually, in order to get him to. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, basically. That's what it's
but what were you talking about? You're talking about
the affair that Laura had with Mark. So y'all want to get real juicy, real tea? Okay, so she was married to her original husband, who seems like a really nice guy. The original put up with a lot, and she started to be convinced that he had been like taken over by Lizzie's or something.
Yeah.
No, probably he was just annoyed that she was spending all day doing what she was doing and needed help around the house, with her kids. So she meets Ark online. She sends him y'all remember those glamour shots from the 80s and 90s?
Yeah.
She sends him old glamour shots of herself, basically catfishes him.
Yeah, she catfished him.
He comes over to America to meet her. I'm sure he was very disappointed because Laura, you did not. Girl, you want to talk about other people's looks? Honey, you did not win in the genetics department. It doesn't matter how much makeup you put on. You can't fix that. He has his little fling with her. He goes back to Europe, wherever he's from, and Poland. And then what happens, Todd? This is hysterical. Then what happens?
And then coincidentally, some three-letter agency hacked all their conversations between her and Ark, and the three-letter agency, according to Laura, sent the communications to Ark's wife. And then that's how she found about this. So Laura, obviously, I don't know how Ark didn't pick up on this, but Laura obviously just screenshotted all of those messages between her and Ark, sent them to Ark's wife so she could get Ark's wife to divorce him, and then he would have to move to America. And then she turned him in to his employer because he was involved with this freaky stuff, the Cassiopaeans. And then he got fired, so he had no job.
But that's what they do. Narcissists isolate people. They isolate you. So he came to Florida, had his little fling or whatever, got catfished. He goes back to Poland okay, that was a mistake. She claims that the American government that the United States government has nothing better to do but to read through some bored fat housewife's emails with her lover she catfished from Europe
Right.
and send them to his wife.
Uh-huh.
You gotta be two sides from stupid if you believe Laura. I have some beachfront property in Oklahoma that I would really love to sell you. I mean, what kind of, so I'm sure at this point, Todd Ark knows how crazy she is. He has to.
I mean, come on, this all sounds above board service to others. Do you not you
Right.
don't agree?
Right.
I mean, even if
that's how I got you, right? That's how
Yeah.
I catfished you as a single man and sent you pictures of me when I was what, 22, even though I met you in my early 30s. Like, I look pretty good from I still think I look good from my early 40s. But and then I like sent our communications to like who did I say? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I was single at the time. I wouldn't have. Yeah. Anyway, it's just like, even if half of this, a quarter of this stuff is true, it's really screaming. It's really screaming at what kind of person you're dealing with. You know, like, really ask yourself, those people out there that are familiar with our conversations with Lou, do you think if Bryce and I were acting like that, Lou would be talking to us?
No, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. We would get hung up on so fast. I mean,
Yeah.
for what? First, I would get a talking, I would get a lashing from Lou, but then Lou would be like, "See ya." How you know, they care about who is representing them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, another thing too is, Todd, you and I have never once claimed to like own Lou. We don't own Lou.
Oh, we yeah.
encourage
Lou
people
tells us all the
to
time
tell-
that Lou talks to a lot of you through
Yeah,
different
that
means.
different
And
means.
we're not the only one talking to Lou out there publicly. You know, and so wait.
Actually, people do know what we're talking about. We're talking about a very dangerous cult that could be hurting people. So that's so.
Yeah, if you don't care, then why the fuck are you here?
Why are you here? Yeah.
So
We're
obviously,
trying to make it obvious.
this is either Laura or one of her minions.
Yeah.
So go ahead, bring the receipts and prove us wrong about the stuff we're talking about here.
Right. There's a documentary. If this is one of Laura's minions, there is an absolute documentary coming, and you're gonna look real stupid. Real stupid. It's not gossip, darling. It's not gossip. We're talking about an esoteric cult that we're exposing. And you must be new here, because I always try to bring humor to my shows. I always, for my people that have been here for a long time, I always try to bring humor to it. So, yes, this is live. We are live. Oops. Then why are you here? Why are you here?
So back in the day of, let's say, Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. This is what this is.
And knowing what happened with Heaven's Gate, because this is very similar.
Yeah,
I would say about as similar as you could get to Heaven's Gate. Would you call the people that were trying to call out Heaven's Gate and what was happening there? Would you come here and call them crazy?
Before
we're trying to save people. That's what we're trying to do. And so if it doesn't interest you, then why the fuck are you here commenting?
Yeah.
Okay, then see yourself out.
Laura.
Okay, bye.
This is what Laura does. She attacks somebody, they defend themselves, and then they call them. Then she turns it around. Bye, Laura. Bye, Laura. Go put lipstick on your fat ass. At least my vagina doesn't smell. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Go put some salve on your chub rub.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to this.
Sorry, that got crude, but I'm so pissed off, Laura. The way you speak to people, we have seen that with people, right? People will question you, and you attack them, their looks, their intelligence. That's why I attack your looks. A little taste of your own medicine there.
We've seen what you've done to people.
We've seen it. That's why I become crude.
I normally don't talk about people like this, but
neither do I.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, Laura. No matter if you were to lose a bunch of weight, you would still be ugly. Because at the end of the day, your soul, your energy shines through your body. And so it doesn't matter. You could be like, you could have the physicality of a supermodel and you would still be disgusting because you're a disgusting human. You've never, what is there, usually you can find one, what is it Lou always says about the Illuma Shmati? Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Lou say about the Illuma Shmati?
I don't know.
At
A
least
lot of
they
stuff.
love their kids.
Oh, right. Right. At least they love their kids. I mean,
They like,
let's go ahead and bring it out. Lou told us, it was privately. Lou told us that Laura is literally
the most evil person on the planet.
right now.
That there is
There's not one. She's never done one good thing for anyone. She's the most self-serving person on the planet at this time. So congratulations, Laura.
You're worse than George. You're literally worse than George Soros.
Right. Because Lou was talking about, like you said, yeah, now I remember. Lou said, even those people in those organizations, those secret societies, they have a hard time with polarizing service to self to the extent they want to, because they can't help but love their children. But Laura has none of that. She loves no one but herself. The most polarized service to self person on the planet at the time, according to Lou.
So you're right. She is an anchor, but she's not an anchor for service to others.
Right.
She's an anchor for service to self. If you are in the Cassiopaean cult, why can't you question Laura? Why can't you leave the organization without having your life turned upside down?
Yeah. Why is everyone that's supposedly attacking Laura a 3-letter agency or a psychopath? Like, doesn't that get old after a while? Or an OP? Doesn't that get old after a while? Like, deep down that these things are true. And I totally understand how you feel trapped, but the crazy thing is, even Laura's trapped. You're all in the same cage.
You smash your soul, and I get, because yeah, she talks about that, but you smash your soul by staying with Laura.
And that's actually true. So there's some things. So what Lou has told us, what we've come to understand, is that even the Lizzies, even the service to self, will reveal truths. And so in the earlier readings that where Frederick Earle was channeling, even though it was Lizzie's, there was valuable stuff in there, like soul smashing. That's a thing. When you sell yourself to a lie so deeply and completely, that smashes your soul, and that actually polarizes you, service to self. You can even innocently believe a lie or an untruth so deeply and still be a good person that you could be polarizing service to self because you so identify with that lie. That's why they call it soul smashing. It's a sad thing. You could be smashing your soul and not really realize it until it's too late. And then you pop on the other side and all of a sudden you realize, uh-oh, I'm a Lizzie.
You know what? It's interesting, Todd. I just realized that's why Lou always says, like, wavy baby. Like, just play it cool. Like, hold on loosely. Like, don't hold too tightly to things.
Right.
Have you noticed that Lou says that a lot? Like, like it is what, like even things that Lou says, he's like, just be wavy baby. Like it's and that's because of the soul smashing.
Right. Yeah.
That you don't self-identify so much with something that you might have misconceived or twisted in your mind that it messes you up a little bit.
Right.
And I would say, and that's why we get so for people who don't know, Todd, we haven't even scratched the surface of the information that Todd and I have collected.
I actually get overwhelmed. I have this huge file of, and I'm not kidding, 100 different things that we could talk about. And I really do not enjoy this, believe it or not. Coming out here, like, I don't really enjoy this subject. It's dark shit. We get attacked over it. I would even say our lives are on the line here. I don't care. I'm not afraid. It'll make for even a better documentary.
Listen, at this point, I'll just go ahead and say it. We know for a fact that she's put a hit on me, because we know somebody on the inside. And I'm not worried because the person that she tried to get to do it is too cowardly to do it. Good for him. But I've had worse things thrown my way. I haven't even taken this to the authorities because I've had worse things thrown my way. I'm not scared. And I even said to Todd today, shit, I'll take a bullet. Like that would make a better documentary.
That's what I was saying, make a better documentary. But anyway, no, we're literally we're holding back. I mean, I could make a channel with that just focused on this with enough material for every day doing a new episode.
Oh, we could, yeah. And
with,
that's why
receipts.
And Todd, that's why we're putting so much out on YouTube first.
Yeah.
Is to get this the same thing with the Nature Boy documentary that released. There was so much on YouTube first that helped people prepare for the bigger documentary. And I get so angry, Laura. The reason why I get so crude is I've seen the way you've treated people. And these are people that I don't know. I mean, some people we've Zoomed with people, like we've gotten to know them. But seeing the way that you have treated people like hurts my heart. Because there's a difference between you and me, Laura. I might not be nice sometimes, but I'm kind.
Right. And you know, another thing.
Didn't Lou say something about that yesterday on the board?
Uh-huh. Another thing is that you know, there are a lot of people out there that are terrified, and they've spoken with us, and we've gotten certain information that we really can't release because it would expose that person, because Laura and her Cassiopaeanists would be able to recognize who this person was because of the things that were done to them. They're horrible. We can't talk about them here because of how horrible they are. So when you see us get angry and nasty, it's for a very good reason.
Absolutely. I feel that. And like, Laura, you're stupid if you're trying to convince this dude to like pew me, because there's never an opportunity. I live in fucking Atlanta, Georgia. I've always got people around me. That can't happen here, girl. Like that person would get arrested so fast. So that's why I'm not scared of that. I'm not scared of that, Laura. You can try to take me out all you want. It's not going to change the fact that you're a fucking psychopath.
And also your little black magic games that you play. Like, give me a break. Bryce got the hiccups the other day. Lizzie's are like, that's the best we can do, hiccups. You know, like
so
it's sad.
It's sad taking my credit cards and getting your IT guy to hack my account. Like
what? So you stole $50 to buy some diet pills?
Like that I got refunded? Like, oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. You know what? It's from what we understand. From what we understand, that's why Vincent Bridges passed away, was because she was doing Santeria on Vincent Bridges. And
we have this confirmed from people who have watched her do it. Like, this is not just speculation. People that we've Zoomed with who knew her have confirmed this.
And that's why some of her animals are missing.
Exactly. She twisted it. But that's why we said the dog she put down at the vet is the least of what she's done. She's used animals for.
And we've talked to other people that were close to Vincent Bridges at that time, and they said independently, without even us bringing it up, that they were convinced that Vincent Bridges was taken out through black magic that Laura was doing. They said they told us a lot more than what we actually knew, and that was said outside online. So it's a fact. Vincent Bridges was an incredible person. He did not deserve that. He was just, that's what happens when you're too kind to a psychopath.
I can't, like, her crime. I mean, she's committed she's crimes against humanity up and down. Like, and that's why I get so nasty with her, because Laura, I know what you're doing to people. I know what you're saying to people. I know the lives you're ruining, and it fucking pisses me off.
And you're a fraud channeler. Like
you have no education. You can't channel. You're just you're not even as good. Listen, I was listening to a podcast because I covered the Queen Romana cult in Canada, which Queen Romana is like nothing compared to Laura. But they were so funny. You heard me listening to this podcast because they kept comparing her to L. Ron Hubbard.
Right.
And I've even said this before. L. Ron Hubbard was a terrible person, but you kind of have to respect him a little bit because he was able to grow a religion. And what that one dude said, like, everybody knows Scientology is fake now, but he's such a good cult leader. Even in death, they're still doing it. Like, they're still doing it.
I know.
You're pathetic. Laura,
Yeah.
you're not even as good as L. Ron Hubbard. Like you're not even, and he was also allegedly part of the intel agency too. You're connected to George Soros. You're not even as good as L. Ron Hubbard, girl. Like, you're pathetic. You are a pathetic human being. You have not done anything good for anybody. You don't even love your children. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And that's why they won't speak to her. Okay, do you want to get back into finishing this?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know we weren't done yet. Okay, go ahead. We're not done, guys. We got lots more to do of this.
A pattern of reversal. When landlords, former associates, critics, or officials challenged Laura, she branded them psychopaths, agents, grifters, or participants in a conspiracy against her work. That's just the standard, that's what to expect. Everyone who demanded accountability eventually became an enemy. That's just how she works.
That's how she works.
One of the most striking features of Laura's response was her ability to reverse the roles of victim and perpetrator. People paid her organization for raffle tickets and received no house. She portrayed herself as the victim. Critics asked for financial records. She accused them of criminal behavior and libel. The house remained in her name. She blamed people left behind in Florida. The property was later sold. She continued insisting that the raffle's purpose had somehow been fulfilled. This is not an explanation. It is a strategy of confusion. Bury a simple question beneath legal jargon, insults, conspiracy theories, and attacks on the motives of anyone asking it. But the documentation cuts through that confusion. Exactly. Show the receipts, and then there's no reason to argue. It's just like, here it is, that's that. And then you move on. But no, she couldn't do that because the house raffle was a scam. The scam in plain language. The entire affair can be reduced to a handful of facts. Laura and Ark advertised their Florida house as prize in a fundraising raffle. Supporters paid money for tickets. Some purchasers never received numbered tickets. The organizers claimed that the drawing took place. No winner was publicly identified. The house was not transferred to a winner. Laura and Ark left for France shortly after the supposed drawing. Money connected to the foundation and raffle helped finance that move. Laura and Ark retained ownership of the property. 7 months later, they sold the house to someone else for $95,000. They therefore obtained money from people who believed they were participating in a genuine house raffle, and later obtained additional money by selling the supposed prize.
How can you sell something that technically isn't yours anymore? Like, if somebody won the house in a raffle, then it technically does not belong.
No, they never owned the house to begin with, so you can't raffle a house that's owned by the bank.
I know, but let's just say that you can't raffle a house that has a mortgage.
Right.
Right.
And back taxes. Because both of those things are proven facts.
Yes.
Back taxes were owed on the house, and the house was not paid off. Those two things disqualify the house from being legitimately raffled.
Let's just say, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say, okay, the house was paid off. There were no back taxes. Yeah. Let's say they did everything properly. They put it into the escrow. It was owned by the trust. The lawyer was looking after it. Once they pulled the raffle and the house was then transferred to ownership to the raffle winners, it's no longer Laura's and Ark's to sell.
Right.
So regardless of how you cut it, this is fraud.
Right.
This is fraud.
It's major fraud. It's not just little fraud. This isn't like a oopsie. This is like planned out fraud from the beginning.
Yeah.
Sue me.
Try it, Laura, because Discovery is going to be on it.
The question Laura never answered. Laura offered pages of insults. Of course, she's so good at that. She lectured her critics about nonprofit corporations, salaries, management contracts, capitalism, attorneys, accounts, tax returns, education, and economic success. She called her accusers liars, grifters, criminals, and agents trying to destroy her work, but she never answered one question that mattered. Who won the house? The property records provide the answer. No raffle winner received it. Laura and Ark kept the house left the country with the proceeds, and later sold the property for cash. Everything else was noise.
And that's ChatGPT. That's ChatGPT's.
That was literally like I would say seven articles along with other people's accounts that were involved in all of this. Put in the ChatGPT. Laura loves ChatGPT.
And the funny thing is,
here it is working for us here.
Have we told people Laura loves ChatGPT, but I was putting in some stuff in the beginning to like organize. I forgot what I was doing, but I was putting stuff in for the Cassiopaeans and the cult stuff, like to find stuff about cults. And ChatGPT was basically like, "Girl, you in trouble. This girl's mad." Like, even Chat was saying the same stuff. It was like, "This girl's pretty bad. Like, this is a bad boy. This is a bad lady. Like, this is objectively, not subjectively, objectively a horrible person." Yeah. A horrible person. So, Laura, who won the fucking house, girl? Who won it?
Yeah, here it is, all summed up. Well, regardless of what your fucking story is, who won the house? No publicly identified raffle winner received the property. Months later, the house was sold for $95,000. There you go. That's it.
It was sold.
You ran a scam, and you consider yourself a channeler of what they say, the one Laura's the one, supposedly Laura's the one grounding in the service to others here on the planet. Are you fucking serious? We're in serious trouble if that's the case.
I'm trying to find it, that comment. It was awesome. Oh, here he is. There it is.
Yeah, the main anchor of service to others energy. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, this house raffle scam just disqualified you.
Everything she does disqualifies her.
Right.
Santeria disqualifies her.
I mean, just look at someone's actions. Anyone who has a website filled with smears against people that are pages and pages long. I mean, like I said, I don't even know how she finds the time to do this. Pages and pages long. Just that in and of itself disqualifies you from being the anchor of service to others. That's not how we work here.
No.
And you could say, "Oh, well, we're doing this. This is because we're exposing you because you're dangerous."
Well, also when that person says something, I thought this was an esoteric channel. Todd, what's the highest form of spirituality? To be human.
Right.
You really want to study esoteric and occult? They'll all tell you the highest form of being spiritually aligned is to be fucking human, to laugh.
And this is actually one of our services. This is our dharma. I'm her fucking cousin.
You're a knight.
I was in the cult. I was in the cult for 20 years before I realized that we were related. At the same time I realized we were related, I realized that Laura was full of shit. So tell me, is this not dharmic?
This is our service to others. We're putting ourselves out there. And I want to say to people, like, and this is why I get so mad. I've been a public person on YouTube now for 6 years. I've already had a stalker. I've been through a lot. My skin, unlike Laura, is pretty thick. And so to all the people out there that are scared of Laura and want to communicate, I will be your shield for you. Todd and I will gladly be your shield, and we will gladly take those metaphoric and possibly literal bullets for you. I'm made for this. I'm made for this. This is apps. I'm a sassy Southerner. I'm smart. I know I'm smart.
The crazy thing is, grown men we have talked to, I'm a grown man, but also we have talked to grown men
who are
that are terrified of Laura. That's how bad she is.
Me at like 5'5", like 115 pounds. I'm like, I'll do it.
I mean, they've seen what they have seen what she has done to people. I'm not afraid. We're going to keep going until she's taken down. Till she's exposed. When I say taken down, I mean exposed.
I want her in prison. She deserves to be in prison for what she's done.
That should be that's her retirement plan.
Is prison. And Laura, I know you're watching. Girl, if I were you, I would be terrified right now. Karma in the Bible, it says, one of the quotes of the Bible that I like, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and I will repayeth. Your cousin is your vengeance. Yes. And you
Actually,
got
Lou has told us that we're heavily protected in this. Yeah. Lou actually helped us on the path of like, hey, you want to know what some of your dharma is? Right here.
this.
Yeah.
I always think that my guardians, what they're probably like Santa Claus shit. They're exhausted. I'm exhausting them by this stuff. But no, I think about it. It actually makes me, because we have such an incredible community here on Esoteric Atlanta and the Confused Wanderer of people, just incredible. Like we got some of the best people on the internet in our community. A lot of strong, spiritually strong, grounded people.
And a lot of you we like communicate with offline.
Offline, right. And Laura does not know who she's messing with. And I think the reason, because I keep challenging her, because you know what she does when people start speaking out against her, she will all of a sudden do a channeling session where the Cassiopaeans magically have terrible things to say about that person.
She's afraid, but she's afraid. We'll never show up because she's afraid.
She's scared because I have a bigger, and also Todd, I have a bigger platform than she does.
You're prettier than her. You have a bigger platform, and we actually channel.
Yeah.
Which we have some background information, and she's claiming that what we do with Lou is fake, is AI.
We're going to show it next time we do it. We're going to actually show the board that there's nothing underneath it. So actually we should, Todd, let us know, guys, in the comment section now, or in the replay crew in the comments below. We have a video of her channeling. It's so fucking fake. It's unbelievable. But do you guys
even if it was real, it's exactly so. We got to talk about the Lizzies. Lou has brought before a couple times, has brought allowed a Lizzie to talk to us because they had a message. They're really rude and nasty.
Yeah.
But they have no finesse when the planchette moves. It has the same intensity of Lou, but the way that it moves, like linear, like this, they don't have the finesse.
Lou spins on the board, like kind of dances around the board, and it's light. With the Lizzies, it's not that at all. It's very different. And what Laura was showing is very Lizzie.
And it's exactly how Laura fakes it. So going back, I have a feeling that when Frederick and her were doing their thing, they were talking to Lizzie's. I know Frederick was, and that's fine. I don't hold that against him. But that's how she learned. So she's mimicking the way Lizzie's talk on the board.
Yeah, not the way Lou. Y'all seen the way Lou talks? Lou dances on the board. He dances. It's hard to keep up. You see us lose the planchette all the time. Like one of our hands will slip and it'll stop, and what did she do? She licked her fingers.
Oh my God, that was gross. She did this thing where she you have to lick your fingers and put on the plant. I was like, oh, yuck.
That's disgusting. Like if I ever lick my fingers, I've had Cheeto dust on my fingers before when we were channeling that. I was like eating Cheetos as we were channeling, and I was in the beginning, and you were like, I don't know if this is proper. And Lou was like, if she wants to eat Cheetos, let her eat Cheetos.
No, I didn't say, I don't know if this was proper. We were just joking about it. Lou was like, it doesn't matter, whatever. We don't have to create any special space or anything. We just sit down and we just do it. It's a very nonchalant thing, Yeah.
So anyway,
we're going on 2 hours. You promised me one, and now we're like,
no, you went off two. I was about to say I was peeing earlier, and Todd was like, we're only doing like an hour, right? And I was like, maybe hour 15, and then you went off. Laura is the one that gossips for sure. Well, she makes up fake shit, and she just makes stories up about people. Right. I want to end though one last time for those who are new. I want to end with this. I want to remind people every time Laura calls somebody controlled opposition or pro intel crow, I'll hold on. I'll get to the chats in a second. I want to remind people anytime she accuses someone of that, I want you to be like, interesting, like how ARC worked with George Soros.
Right. You can never erase that. She used to have it on her website bragging about it.
So, Laura, I mean, I don't know what to say, girl. Like, I've never worked with George Soros. Have you, Todd?
No, no, or DARPA.
I've
You
never been
know,
a part of any like mind control experiments.
yeah.
So, you need to answer for this, Laura. I think you guys should anytime. Jay Campbell, if you're watching Jay Campbell, if anybody knows, Jay, Did you know about this, Jay? I mean, seriously, did you know that ARC worked with George Soros?
I'm gonna actually go back in. I'm gonna find the original in the archive where she had that on her website. I bet I could do it.
And he worked on depopulation, like the Georgia Guidestones said.
And that
With
he was funded. He
EWL.
was funded by George Soros when he visited the United States.
I mean, George
Interesting.
Soros has never paid for me to travel. I've traveled the world multiple times over. He's never footed the bill. Has he footed the bill for you, Todd?
No, I haven't got any money
Travels?
from him. But supposedly we're working for a three-letter agency, which I always find so funny.
If I'm working for a three-letter agency, where's my check?
Yeah.
So Todd,
Okay.
this is a Todd question. When do you think the next live stream will be? Should we do it for next week?
Oh, the next line. Oh, about focusing on the Cassiopaeans. Yeah, we could do another one. I mean, I have so much information. I'll figure out what the next topic will be, and we could do it now every week or two. Probably every 2 weeks we could do one.
I think
Yeah.
every week is fine. I mean,
Yeah, every Friday we could do it for an hour.
yeah,
Yeah,
2 hours. You'd love it though. My older subscribers, like my OGs, know that we get sassy on this channel. We get
Yeah.
so sassy on this channel because we actually have emotions and we have a nervous system and we have a soul. That's why we get sassy.
Right. And
So
Zora, thanks for joining us.
yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate
yeah,
having you here.
yeah. No, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think she advertises this anymore. So that's why we're gonna do her a favor and
Yeah.
we're gonna advertise for her.
Yeah.
And
She's notorious for going back and changing stuff. Actually, as we've talked about stuff on here and quoted certain things, I've noticed she goes back in and changes it.
yeah.
But some stuff can't be erased. Like before we sign off, like her original story. So she posted her original story of how she came about to talk to the Cassiopaeans. And she wrote it one way and posted that online. But then, like all these years later, she changed that story and forgot that she had the old story that doesn't match up with the new story.
Yeah, that's what narcissists do. They rewrite history.
And they also think they're invisible. Like you're not gonna spit. They have like some magical powers that you're not gonna notice that I changed my story. And if you do find it, we're just gonna wipe your mind, or I'll figure out.
Santeria.
Yeah, or they'll figure out a way to twist it, and like you didn't see what you saw, or you don't understand. Anyway, okay.
I think what I'm going to do, let me know, guys. I think, Todd, what we can do is once we get off, I know I've got to run some errands, but maybe tonight or tomorrow, we could make a separate thumbnail of just Laura and George Soros.
Oh yeah, maybe
like
embracing, maybe necking,
like
yeah,
cheersing a beer together or something. And then we could just do like a 5-minute where we just talk about, just not alive, just you and I talk about this. So it's not buried in this episode. It has its own like 5-minute episode or something. What do you guys think? Because this is important. Like you need to see this for the person that's so happy.
Actually, I have an idea. I think that every time we do an episode, regardless of what the subject is about Laura, we should start out with this.
Okay.
That's better because we don't have a whole. I mean, I'm not going to do any more digging. I've done enough digging. It just makes my head spin, and it's just such a dark place to have to go.
But I think we should do like a 5-minute just of this.
Oh,
too.
okay, yeah, sure, okay,
and do a thumbnail with her and George.
Yeah,
George.
Yeah,
and Ark. If we can find a picture of Ark.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. Good job, buddy, for running away. That's the one time, Ark. That's the one time I've ever had a little bit of respect from you is when you ran away and abandoned her in Paris.
In France. I don't think they were in Paris. Even in the countryside. Yeah.
You never abandoned me, Todd. So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
But all right, guys, this has been fun. Again, please know that if you are coming out of a cult, especially the Cassiopaean cult. I know that this is hard because she's scary, but you have friends, you have us, you can contact us. I promise you, if you're listening, there are many, many people that we have spoken to offline that we are keeping their identity and their stories
I mean,
separate.
we don't really even get into a lot of that stuff, because we're concerned about protecting those people's identities and not give away any clue that could lead back to them. And so,
We're
and
not
really, I mean,
psychopaths.
we're really just here for support,
And to get the story out.
right?
And we will take it. I will take this is sport for me. Like, are you kidding me? This is sport. If she does a Cassiopean channeling with Todd and me, you best believe we're going to be having a live show reading through that shit and seeing what she had to say about us through the Cassiopeians. You
Yeah.
best believe. So
Yeah.
this is sport for me. I'm not afraid of Laura at all. At all. Like, am I afraid of Laura, Todd?
You're not afraid of Laura, neither am I.
So you can hide behind us, and we will gladly take the bullets for you. You absolutely. So you have friends, you have support. This community here, we've got amazing people here in this community, very compassionate, understanding people. So please don't be afraid. I know it's easier said than done, but you have people that will help you. And if you are in a situation, I'm just going to put it out there. If you are in a situation where you're in France and you want to get out, but you can't, like you have nowhere to go, please contact us because we know people from all over the world, and we actually do know people in the French authorities through contacts and friends. So we can help you, and we would love to. That not even putting it on a show, just as human beings, from one human being to another. As passionate as I get, that's as angry as I get because you're being treated like shit, and no one should be treated like shit under these circumstances. So the Cassiopeans would say Lou said,
Yeah.
yeah, Lou can't stand her. Lou's sassy about Laura.
Never seen Lou cut. Lou first started cussing when when the topic of Laura came up.
Yeah, the bite model. If you don't know about the bite model, it's Dragonfly is right. We've spoken behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. Dragonfly, you've been around since the beginning, girl. Like these are the people that are here in my community. So I promise you, if you're watching from the Cassiopeans and you're trying to get out and you need help, please just email me. I've got a lot of friends who've survived Scientology, who've survived NXIVM. We're not judging you. Todd was in the damn cult, so we will help you. We'll do what we can to get you the resources to help you get out safely. So anyway, just want to put that out there. So, all right, you guys. Well, we love all of you, except for you, Laura. We don't love you. So, and yeah, Ark. If you're watching Ark, tell George Soros hello for us, and we'll see you
all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thoughts on the run, you're free.